I'm in the car, it's raining outside, and I got a haircut. Today we're going to look at Chapter 6 of Marie Forleo's Everything is Figureoutable. Up till now there's been some writing in each of the chapters, but in Chapter 6 she goes off the rails, y'all. The chapter is called Define Your Dream, and in it she says everything's in the mind. That's where it all starts. Knowing what you want is the first step toward getting it. She said when she was a child she used to say, I want to be a writer and an artist and a dancer and a businesswoman and an animator and a teacher and a singer and a fashion designer and a makeup artist. I am so in line with this line of thinking. I have all of these things that I want to do and be and create. And it's really been hard for me to focus on the one thing. I know now that performing arts is the direction that my skill set has led me. So singing, writing music, performing on stage, those are all things that are in a comfort zone, and technically I have a lot of experience doing those things. So that's a direction I tend to go because it's comfortable. But my dreams are things like I want to create an accessible arts retreat for all artists to be able to come and collaborate with one another. That's a pretty big dream. So I wrote that down in my list of dreams because in this chapter, she's like, write down your list of dreams. Now I have another dream that I'll be able to do 10 push-ups in a row. And in her chapter, she talks endlessly about the size of your dream, and she does answer questions about that very thing. Here are some of the questions she answers toward the end of the chapter. What if I have many goals, dreams, and projects I want to accomplish? Is it okay that my dream doesn't involve saving the polar bears or curing breast cancer? All I want is to make a ton of money and never work again. What if my dream isn't big, epic, or long-term? Is it all right if it's fairly small? What if my dream is so big it's paralyzing? What if I freeze up when I think about the scale? And what if nothing seems that inspiring, exciting, or important? I just don't know what I want. And she answers these questions in depth. It's actually really great information because basically what she's saying is, first of all, you have to decide for yourself. And second of all, you're not wrong if you're feeling any of these feelings. That's one of the common things that happens throughout this book. She constantly reiterates that you're fine wherever you are. And that's really helpful. As I'm reading, I'm thinking, I want to get my finances in order. I want to monetize my channel. I want to improve my wardrobe. I want to redo my attic as an artist space. There are so many things on my list. And she says, pick one and focus on that thing. And that's a pretty tough thing for me to do. And how she tells you to do it is look back at your list. There's likely one or two items that make your heart jump with fear or excitement, or both. Select the one you feel most drawn to, circle it, and answer the questions below. And there are a series of questions that help you define how you're going to work toward that dream. She has several steps involved in this process. The step 1 is the listing of your top 1-year dreams. Step 2 is getting real about your dream. That's the one that has probably the most writing, I think. Step 3 is choosing one dream. Man, this is a hard exercise and I'm still working on it. I think I'm going to need to do a lot more writing, despite the fact that I've already done quite a bit. It just helps clear my mind to sit down with an actual pencil and paper, not to write it on my computer or my phone, but to actually sit down with a pencil and a journal and handwrite. I think there's some sort of brain connection. We'll probably read about that in one of the other books. Step 4, make it specific, measurable, and actionable. SMA. Really good thing to remember. Specific, that is, you know exactly what it is. It's not like, I'm going to lose weight. It's, I'm going to lose 10 pounds. The 10 pounds is measurable. Actionable would be you would actually be able to take steps to make that thing happen. I think that's part of the figureoutable. That's probably the most important part of figureoutable, is having something be actionable. I actually sent my son a picture of a quote from the book. It was this quote: "Clarity comes from engagement, not thought." Whenever you're trapped in the hell of indecision, do something about it as quickly as possible. Find a way to take a tangible, real action, and you'll be rewarded with priceless feedback to inform your next steps. I have the advantage of being in my late 50s, and so I can say from my experience in life that taking action trumps any amount of thought you can think about a subject. Doing something actually jostles you out of whatever state of malaise you may be in and has you move forward, and usually in a really healthy way, because you can take an action and see immediately whether or not it feels right. And if it feels right, you keep taking actions in that direction, and if it doesn't, take a different action. She says that in the book in some interesting ways. One is a footnote that she has here, and I want to read that to you. Fuck it moments. Like I said before, she does use some language in the book. Fuck it moments. Noun. When you stop trying to look good, stop trying to fit in, and finally follow your heart. Usually huge positive turning points. So if you end up taking an action and it doesn't work, and you keep trying and nothing's happening and you're not moving forward in the way that you want, you can get yourself to a place where you just say, fuck it. I just don't care. I'll just do whatever. And you take actions at that point that can make a huge difference toward reaching a dream. I'm not talking about the kind of actions that would be dangerous or hurtful. I'm talking about taking actions like I keep talking about putting a blue streak in my hair. Why don't I just take an action? Why don't I just do that where I say, fuck it? There's another thing that Marie says in this chapter that I find really helpful, but also ephemeral. And by that I mean hard to grab a hold of. She says, clarity equals power. And you can't get clarity by sitting around and thinking. You can get clarity by interacting with other people. You can get clarity by taking an action. What she says in the book is, our creative dreams and yearnings come from a divine source. As we move toward our dreams, we move toward our divinity. You wouldn't have the dream if you didn't already have what it takes to make it happen. There are all kinds of encouragements throughout the book. She has a way of speaking in her writing that makes these things seem attainable for ordinary mortals such as myself. In the book, she tells the story of a transgender woman who fought to become a paid actor, and she eventually did. And after 19 years of effort, landed one of the leading roles in Orange is the New Black, and that person is Laverne Cox. You may know her. She's pretty cool. But not only is she an example of someone who fought to make her own way, she cleared a path for others. So because people can see this woman doing what she does so well, there are other transgender women who can look at that and say, there's a way for me. There's nothing more inspiring than seeing someone like you have success doing what it is you want to do. If there's someone out there doing what it is you want to do, they're a beacon. And maybe there is no one doing what you want to do. All that means is, though it may be a little harder for you, you will be the beacon. There is a section of this chapter where she talks about your reticular activating system, or your RAS. I first became aware of your reticular activating system, or your RAS, when I was pregnant with my first child, because I started to notice every pregnant woman out there. It's like everybody was pregnant at the same time as I was. It's kind of like a little pregnant club. When I was trying to get pregnant and couldn't, I noticed every pregnant woman out there. Whatever you focus on becomes a really important part of your thinking, and you start to cull your evidence as you're looking out there in the world for other examples of the thing that you're thinking about. The RAS can work in either way, but if you start focusing on what it is that you're shooting for, then you're actually going to start seeing examples of it out there in the world, and that can serve as encouragement, hope, and that beacon that I've been talking about that draws you toward your own dream, fulfilling something that you see is actually possible because someone is out there already doing it. Okay, there's a lot more to this chapter than what I've shared here right now, and I feel like I want to just read the whole chapter to you. What I'm going to do is encourage you to go ahead and get the book if you can. Go to your library and ask them to order a copy, or you can actually order it here. If you go down below, you'll see in my links I have places where you can order any one of the 3 books I'm working on right now, and I really do encourage you to get a book. If you're like me, I encourage you to get a copy that you can own, but if you can't, go to the library and get a copy and keep a journal. I'm doing both. I'm keeping a journal and reading the books because I want to be prepared to share this with you, and that helps me be more informed and give you a better experience of the book so you know whether or not you want to follow along. If you want to follow along with the book, I have 3 playlists, and those are also listed underneath here. There's a playlist for Marie Forleo's Everything is Figureoutable, which is the one we're doing today, Chapter 6. There's one for It's Never Too Late to Begin Again by Julia Cameron, who Marie Forleo actually quotes in the book, which ties everything together rather neatly, I think. And there's also one for Designing Your Life. So I encourage you to look at the playlists if you have the book, and then you can follow along and do the exercises with me, and we could do it together, even though, as I continually remind you, this is a study of one. So do it your way. We can still do it together, but you don't have to do it the way I'm doing it, or you could even do a totally different book, which I'm always encouraging. And if you have a book in mind that you want me to look at when I'm finished with these 3, put it in the comments below. Give me a chance to check it out, and maybe we'll do that book as well. We can do that together. It'll be fun. And then finally, I want to remind you that if you click on the little bell once you subscribe to the channel, then that actually lets the YouTube algorithm know that this channel is worth viewing. So I hope you get something out of it. I really enjoy sharing this. This is my accountability practice, so I keep myself moving forward. Hopefully watching these will be your accountability practice. I'm trying to put out about 2 of these per week. I haven't settled on a schedule yet, but just know that there'll be a couple of these every week that you can watch and learn more about you. And what could be better than learning about you, right? Well, I hope to learn more about you in the comments, so please do let me know that you're out there. Help the channel grow, and thank you so much for watching. Okay, bye.